Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 9th episode of VisionCon Spotlight, your in-depth look at the nerds you love. I'm your host, Zach Wilson, but you didn't come here to see me today. You came to see the woman of the hour. She's world-renowned cosplayer and Twitch streamer, the Countess of Cosplay herself. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the one, the only, Sophie Donne. Sophie, how you doing today?
Hello, I am good. That is quite an intro. Thank you.
Oh, it's well-deserved. Well, Sophie, I wanted to start us out. Obviously, everyone knows you as one of the best cosplayers around, but as I've found, all cosplayers have a story as to how they got into it. So I'd be lucky to ask you, how'd you get into cosplay?
Yeah, I actually really love telling this story because it's a story of friendship and passion. So my best friend Sissa, who is actually in my bedroom right now, and we met in 2009, and we got talking about like nerdy stuff, and she mentioned cosplay, and I was like, oh, I've seen it on TV, because I only thought it happened on TV. I was so out of touch. And she was like, nope, you're coming with us to ACON in Dallas, Texas, and you're going to learn. And I was like, well, what do I wear? I don't know how to cosplay. So I had an old Halloween costume. It was like a Racer Girl zip up from Spirit Halloween. But I was like, I'm going to take it, I guess. And so we get there, and oh my God, if you haven't been to ACON, it is, my heart and soul still lives there. So I see all these big, beautiful costumes in the hallways as we're walking to our room. And I'm like, I'm too embarrassed to wear what I have. There's no way. I'm not leaving the room in it. But she was like, no, you have to. Come on. So I put it on, and I almost cried. It was awful. But as soon as I stepped out onto the con floor, everyone, I think they could tell I was uncomfortable, and people were trying to make up characters for me. And they were like, are you from this show? You could tell people you're from here. And just that, I'm getting goosebumps now. Just that sense of community and inclusion. I had never had that. And I left crying that weekend, and that was it. That was cosplay for me. It became my life, and she became my best friend to this day. So
that is so sweet. Well, I see a bunch of projects behind you, walk me through a little bit of your process. Like you see a character in a popular kind of pop culture franchise and just like, that's the one, or is there a little bit more in depth to it?
Oh man, I'm the worst. Like I know so many people who have like one way they do things, but it's very sporadic. I'm naturally a pretty messy person. I've just settled into that now. It's who I am. So it kind of depends. So for Vigar, I just really wanted to do a League character because I'd never done anything from League of Legends, and I love the designs. Trash at the game, but love the designs. So I actually chose Vigar not only because he was one of my favorite designs, but because of the hat. I'd never made oversized hat before, and Campatsu had just come out with that pattern. So that's how I chose that one. This one over here, it was just for fun. It's a Pokemon Jijinka, so it's going to be Cubone.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And then, so it kind of just, like, sometimes it's just like I recently did a look for Sailor Moon just because I saw the artwork and was like, I need to be that. It's just anything that sparks like I need it, you know?
Sure.
That's how it goes.
Speaking of the Cubone, I found that out in a place that I didn't think I would find it, because a lot of people use this platform for, video games or really just, podcasts and such, but, predominantly video games. And that platform is Twitch, which you are actually a streamer about, which I kind of mentioned earlier. However, when I was doing my research, I was watching a couple of your videos on Twitch, and yes, you have, the standard affair of, video games, interacting with your audience, but you have something that I find very wholesome and also a little bit informative as well, where you chat with people as you're working on your cosplays. So how did that kind of come about, and why did you decide to finally kind of get a Twitch?
Oh, well, I technically got a Twitch last year, and then I wasn't I don't know. I felt weird doing it, like being in a room talking to myself. So I kind of fell off of it. But then like quarantine, COVID happened, and I was like, I'm going to make a real run at this. Because this is my lair that I'm in, and I'm always in here working, and I figured, why not invite people in to work with me? And it's really nice because then people get to take a look at my process, because like on Instagram and stuff, you can't really post your progress photos. Like people don't get to see them the way the algorithms work. So I was like, well, how can I show people what I'm building and talk about what I'm building in a way that people will see? And that was Twitch.
So do you have characters, because obviously you have countless cosplays at this point, but do you have any characters that you sort of gravitate to, or at least certain aspects of characters that make you want to cosplay them?
Yeah, I do a lot of gender bending, and I've done one crossplay. For whatever reason, I gravitate towards male designs. I don't know why, especially like Riku, dark mode Riku from Final Fantasy, like blonde anime boys, I'm there. I want to be you. I don't know why.
The aesthetic.
Yeah, I just love it so much. So I don't know if there's really one, like I said, it's kind of like the Vigar with the hat. I was like, that's a challenge. There'll be little things like that, or like Sailor Moon, I just wanted to be a magical girl. So there'll be little things where it's one thing about the whole costume that makes me like, yes.
Well, and you're also, obviously you're a phenomenal cosplayer, but a big part of what I wanted you on the show was you're actually a huge advocate in the community. You're kind of a figurehead that, you know, to kind of bring people together. And I can think of no better example than your community, properly called the Cos Ladies community. You want to talk a little bit about that? And for those watching at home, how they can kind of get involved with it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it means a lot that you even brought that up, because I do aim to be, you know, inclusive in our community, a leader for that. I dealt with a lot of cosplay bullying when I started. I am amazed that I'm still cosplaying today. The bullying was that heavy. And so my goal is always to make sure that I'm creating spaces where everyone feels included. So I do have the Cos Ladies community, and that was born from, and that's for women and female identifying people. All welcome, or non-binary. And it just started years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, as a safe place, kind of like we talked about earlier. You would see women cosplayers would be posting work in progress in those costumes, and maybe you're working on a bra piece and you want to show people like, hey, is this design that I'm working super hard on good? And then you've got just kind of a bunch of random internet men like, oh, hot, you know, not really adding to what you're trying to do. So I wanted a space where they would feel comfortable posting whatever they needed to. And what I think is the coolest part about it for me is not only that it's grown so much that I can't even handle it anymore, but that we never have any trouble. I think we've blocked 2 people in 4 years. Like, it's just such a lovely open space that people don't feel the need to be negative there, because that did do so well and people liked it so much. I just started another group called the All Creators Hype and Help Space, which everyone is welcome to join. And that is where we're just gonna help each other grow together, because I really do believe that there's enough space in this community for all of us to be successful. And I'm so tired of the gatekeeping of information and marketing. I've worked in marketing most of my life. I help creators build their brands and their businesses, and that's something I'm very passionate about. And so I created this space now that's for everyone.
Speaking my language with the gatekeeping. But so for people watching at home that are either kind of looking to get into cosplay or already are, but kind of want to expand in the department, I did want to ask, to someone who is definitely a figurehead and someone very well known in the community and the genre, kind of what tips would you give kind of aspiring babby or even cosplayers that, you know, are in it, but just, you know, kind of want to expand their horizons? So what kind of advice would you give them?
Man, if you're passionate about it and you love it, just do it, man. Whether it's cosplaying for fun or attempting to make it into some kind of career, like if you love it and the passion is there, people will feel that. And that's what people are attracted to. Those are the people that conventions want working at their shows and doing panels at their shows, hosting. Long term, I just really believe that passion trumps everything. In a lot of cases, even talent, because you can learn talent and skill. You know, we have YouTube, but do you love it? Is the passion there? And you can just, cosplay community is one of the most passionate communities I've ever been a part of or witnessed. So I always tell people, just do it. As for tips and tricks, if you are looking to turn it into a career, be prepared. It's so much more work than I thought it would be, to be honest. You know, if a show or an event is paying you, make sure you're doing your job and doing what you provided, and make sure that's something you're passionate about. Just because other people are doing it full time doesn't mean you have to. I think sometimes we turn our favorite things into work on accident because we think that that's what we want to do. So it has to be what you want to do. And if you need any advice, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to help start businesses.
Always a woman of the people. Now, before we wrap things up, Sophie, I did want to ask, kind of, how do people watching here at home kind of get more connected with you, kind of find out more about you, and just kind of follow your kind of day-to-day stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am everywhere. OhMySophii with 2 I's, no E. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I do also have a YouTube that I'm dabbling in that space. And then Twitch, of course, I'm live every Wednesday and Friday. We're either playing games or just hanging out, having a coffee. Come hang out with us. We're about to, I do want to say, if you love Witcher, September is Witcher month. I've partnered with a company and we have really cool Witcher toys coming. I'm going to be cosplaying Yennefer, Ciri, and Triss all month on Twitch, playing Witcher 3 and giving away Witcher goodies.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, for those of you watching at home, if you missed any of those links or just wanted to click on them, they're all going to be down in the description below. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for episode 9 of VisionCon Spotlight. Now, before we wrap things up, Sophie, any final thoughts or any wisdom to leave us on?
Just do it. If you love cosplay, it doesn't matter what anybody else in this world says, because you should be doing it for you. Just do it, man.
Ah, hell yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 9 of VisionCon Spotlight. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, guys, my name's Zach, but much more importantly, this has been my special guest, OhMySophii. Make sure to check out the links below. And until next time, always remember, guys, that life's better when you have friends to share it with.